Good morning to all of you. Today again to continue chemotherapy in gynecological cancer, we'll have to continue. As you know, the chemotherapeutic drugs has developed a much. So there is wide use of chemotherapeutic drugs in the management of the gynecological cancers. So in the last class, we have discussed something about chemotherapy. Today also to continue the chemotherapeutic drugs in the management of the gynecological malignancies. So first of all, the classification of chemotherapeutic drugs. First, alkylating drugs. I think you know all detail in pharmacology in the classification of chemotherapy drugs. So again, the alkylating drugs like cyclophosphamide, ifosfamide, chlorambucil, melphalan, thiotepa, these are non-specific drugs. Cell cycle non-specific drugs means it prevents all the stages of the cell cycle, including the resting stage of the cell cycle. And these drugs, cell cycle non-specific drugs, prevent DNA synthesis or its division. And also another is 6-month period. Antimetabolites, methotrexate and 5-fluorouracil interfere with enzymes required for DNA synthesis. So it hampers the metabolism and prevents the DNA synthesis. Then antibiotics, actinomycin D, bleomycin, adriamycin, mitomycin, these are also cell cycle non-specific drugs. These also kills the malignant cells in all stages of the cell cycle. And another is doxorubicin. So these inhibit RNA and DNA synthesis and they arrest mitosis. Then plant alkaloids. What are the plant alkaloids? Vincristine or oncovin and vinblastine, Taxol, docetaxel, etoposide. These are cell specific and these drugs kills the specific phase of the cell cycle. These are anti-mitotic. Then hormones, different hormones, progesterone preparations like medroxyprogesterone acetate, magistral acetate, and 17-alpha hydroxyprogesterone caprate. These are the progesterone preparations like medroxyprogesterone acetate and magistral acetate and 17-alpha hydroxyprogesterone caprate. And another hormone is tamoxifen. It is also anti-estrogen and usually these drugs, progesterone preparations and anti-estrogen tamoxifens are used in the treatment of endometrial cancer. Then miscellaneous 6-platin, carboplatin, hydroxyurea, and topotecan. And biological drugs are interferon, which improves host immune defense mechanism and maintains remission. Then what are the new anti-cancer drugs? There are many new anti-cancer drugs have been developed nowadays so that there is more malignant cell kill with less side effects to the normal cells. So first is vascular targeting agents, VTA. That is, one is angiogenesis inhibitors. That is, as you know, in the malignant cells, there is neoangiogenesis. New vessels are formed. So there is increased vascularity to the tumor, hence there is growth of malignancy is increased. So there is angiogenesis is there in case of malignant cells. So there is angiogenesis inhibitors. So which inhibits the angiogenesis, neovascularization, inhibits the neovascularizations. Vascular endothelial growth factor, VEGF ligand, bevacizumab, Avastin, and Genentech. Then receptor targeting vascular endothelial growth factor, receptor tyrosine kinase inhibitor. These are new drugs and rarely and new drugs and in second or third choice and with very good effect. And receptor tyrosine kinase inhibitor like sedaranib, intedanib, then anti-VEGF antibody in clone. But the complications are hypertension, bile, and perforation. Then vascular disrupting agents, VDA, phosphoretabolin, olaparib, that is dose of 100 to 600 milligram daily orally. So these drugs prevent the formation of angiogenesis, new blood vessel formation, and also it damages the already formed vessels. So it both prevents the formation of new blood vessels and also damage the already formed blood vessels. Then alpha folate receptor targeting, that is farletuzumab EC145. Then other novel cytotoxic agents are trabectedin, ipothiolone analogs, topoisomerase 1 inhibitors, and pemetrexed and aurora kinase inhibitors. So these are the new anti-cancer drugs. So in detail, what are the anti-angiogenesis agents? It inhibits angiogenesis, means new blood vessel formation, neovascularization. It inhibits neovascularization. Prevents binding of VEGF to VEGF receptor, vascular endothelial growth factor. Then bevacizumab, monoclonal antibody, and it is used in recurrent or metastatic epithelial ovarian tumor. These are more effective in case of metastatic tumors. And the dose is 15 milligram per kg intravenously every 3 weeks. And the toxicity is there may be hypertensive crisis, and there is also chance of intestinal perforation. As there is growth is attached to the intestines, so there is risk of perforation of the intestine. Then another is topoisomerase, topo inhibitors. So topo unwinds and rewinds the DNA to help DNA replication. So it helps in the replication of the DNA, topo. So topo inhibitors block the replication of DNA so that there is synthesis of DNA is blocked. So two types of topo inhibitors are there, like camptothecin, topotecan inhibit topo 1, topoisomerase 1, and podophylotoxin or etoposide inhibits topo 2. Poly-ADP ribose polymerase PARP inhibitor, that is olaparib, a PARP inhibitor. It is used in cases of BRCA1, CA1 and BRCA2 mutation carriers with ovarian resistant to platinum drugs. Usually when platinum drugs are resistant, then these drugs are used. Then mammalian target of rapamycin inhibitors, MTOR. These are new drugs already came up. Then or MTR is a proteokinase, and it regulates membrane trafficking, transcription, translation, and maintains cytoskeleton. And it also increases production of vascular endothelial growth factor, which is again responsible for neoangiogenesis. And rapamycin inhibits mTOR. The other drugs are temsirolimus, everolimus. These are also now currently being studied. Then what are the treating will, what are the how the individual gynecological cancer are being treated with chemotherapeutic drugs individually, all malignancies, cancer of vulva, vagina, cervix, and ovarian tumor, and endometrial cancer. These are all are being, in all cases, the chemotherapy drugs are being used. So first of all, how to treat the vulval cancer by chemotherapeutic drugs. Primary modality of treatment for vulval cancer is surgery. Surgery is the main treatment for the management of vulval cancer. But chemotherapy is reserved for stage 4 vulval cancer, where surgery is not possible. So chemotherapy is given. And when there is anal involvement, or anal involvement is successfully treated with infusion of 5-fluorouracil and mitomycin C, followed by radiotherapy 3000 rads over 3 weeks. So when anal involvement in case of vulval cancer is there, it is 5-fluorouracil and mitomycin are mostly effective. And 5-FU or 5-fluorouracil in a dose of 750 milligram meter square is given daily for 3 to 5 days. And mitomycin in a dose of 10 milligram meter square bolus is given on first day. And 6-platin is now been tried as radiation sensitizer with radiation therapy in a dose of 500 milligram per meter square. We have already discussed 6-platin is a radiosensitizer in radiotherapy class, so it can be also used as a radiosensitizer so that there is effectiveness of the radiotherapy with 6-platin. Then how to manage vaginal cancer? The stage 1 and stage 2 vaginal cancers are treated with either radiation therapy or surgery. Then in case of stage 3 and stage 4 vulval cancer, mainly treated with radiation therapy. But chemotherapy alone is ineffective in the treatment of vaginal cancer. Concurrent chemotherapy with 6-platin as a radiation adjunct is recommended in stage 3 and stage 4 cancers. So concurrently, simultaneously, chemotherapy with 6-platin is used with radiation in case of stage 3 and stage 4 cancers. Then metastasis of choriocarcinoma responds well to methotrexate and actinomycin D. As you know, choriocarcinoma is well responding to methotrexate and actinomycin D. So metastasis of choriocarcinoma to vagina responds to methotrexate and actinomycin D. Then what is the role of chemotherapy in case of carcinoma cervix? The primary modality of treatment is radiotherapy, but also, and again, the management depends on the stage of the disease, and surgery is limited up to stage 2A disease. Surgery, Bardem cystectomy or radical hysterectomy is done with the treatment of choice in case of carcinoma cervix up to stage 2A. But in all stages of the cancer cervix, radiotherapy can be used and also effective. But so up to stage 2A only, surgery is limited. Surgery can be done, after which surgery is not done, not possible. So chemotherapy has been studied in advanced cervical cancer with mixed results. Drugs most commonly used are doxorubicin in a dose of 120 milligram meter square with cisplatin in a dose of 50 milligram per meter square intravenously over 24 hours weekly for 6 cycles. So different regimens are there. That is, one is PBB, cisplatin, vinblastine, and bleomycin combination. So the dose of cisplatin is 100 milligram per meter square intravenously on day 1. Then vinblastine 6 to 12 milligram per meter square bolus in day 1. And bleomycin in a dose of 15 to 30 milligram muscular day 1, day 8, and day 15. And these combinations are given through weekly for not more than 8 cycles. Maximum 8 cycles are given. Then for the treatment of endometrial cancer, usually chemotherapy drugs are less used because of poor response in endometrial cancer. And when there is anaplastic growth, it is poor responder. But when the endometrial cancer is all differentiated, the chemotherapy drugs or progesterone preparations are mostly effective. Though usually for the treatment of endometrial cancer, surgery and radiotherapy are the cornerstone in the management. But chemotherapy also has a role. Metastatic tumors respond better to progestogens. When progesterone preparations are used in case of metastatic endometrial cancer, these are more effective. The drugs of progesterone preparations for treatment of endometrial cancer are medroxyprogesterone acetate in a dose of 1 gram intramuscularly weekly or 400 milligram orally daily. Usually for 1 year it is given, or 1 gram norethisterone intramuscularly weekly, or 17 alpha hydroxyprogesterone intramuscularly are effective in well-differentiated tumors containing estrogen and progesterone receptors. Usually these are given for 1 year. Anaplastic tumors of endometrial cancer does not contain these receptors, estrogen and progesterone receptors, so does not respond well. And another anti-estrogen, that is tamoxifen, in a dose of 10 milligram twice daily, is effective in advanced stage of the endometrial cancer, as it is anti-estrogen, because the endometrial cancer is a hyperestrogenic condition. So anti-estrogens like tamoxifen is used in the dose of 10 milligram twice daily. And 30% response is seen in lung metastasis with progestogen. When there is lung metastasis, there is a response of 30% with progestogens. Then sarcoma of the uterus or leiomyosarcoma of the uterus is treated with cisplatin and ifosfamide. Doxorubicin is used as single agent therapy following surgery. So after surgery, doxorubicin is also used. Recently, drugs like doxorubicin, platinum, taxane, and carboplatin and paclitaxel have been tried for the treatment of endometrial cancer. Then for ovarian cancer management, chemotherapy plays a major role after surgery in the management of ovarian cancer. So chemotherapy has a major role, more effective after surgery in the management of ovarian cancer. So new drugs with less toxicity improve the survival as well as remission period. multiple drug therapy or combined agent chemotherapy or with different combinations of different phases of cycle, specific or non-specific, and also different phase of the cell cycle combined together. A multiple drug therapy or combined agent therapy is better survival. Then indications are prophylactic postoperative chemotherapy in stage 1C to prevent recurrence. Stage 1C means when the one or two ovaries are involved with either the rupture of the capsule of the ovary or presence of growth on the surface of the ovary, or when the malignant cells are present on the peritoneal fluid or peritoneal vessel. So in these cases, in case of stage 1C ovarian cancer, prophylactic postoperative chemotherapy are used to prevent recurrence. Then in advanced stage, also it is used as palliative therapy to keep the woman comfortable and prolongation of the life. In unresectable tumor, chemotherapy for 3 to 6 months followed by debulking surgery is recommended. So when there is surgery is not possible, unresectable tumor, advanced stage of the ovarian tumor, so first 3 to 6 months chemotherapy is given, then followed by the debulking surgery, and again also chemotherapy is given for 3 months. So chemotherapy for 3 to 6 months, followed by debulking surgery and monitoring with tissue markers for regression, and deciding on duration of therapy is the routine practice in residual tumor, recurrent or advanced cancer. So in case of unresectable tumor, first chemotherapy is given for 3 to 6 months, then debulking surgery is done, then for 3 months, for another 3 months, usually chemotherapy is continued. But again, it depends upon the tumor marker, so that for how long it should be continued. Then cisplatin and Taxol are the main drugs that are useful in ovarian cancer. So there are different regimens are there. Carboplatin is superior to cisplatin with less nephrotoxicity and less emetic, and myelosuppression is reduced if used with granulocyte colony stimulating factor. Then corticosteroid and antihistamine prevent hypersensitive reaction to paclitaxel, thromboplastin, and stem cell harvesting. Carboplatin requires less hydration than cisplatin. In the cisplatin therapy, there is more hydration required because it is more nephrotoxic than the carboplatin. Cisplatin is more nephrotoxic than the carboplatin, so more hydration is required in case of cisplatin therapy than that of carboplatin therapy. And usually 6 cycles are given. Second line drugs, when a man fails to respond to cisplatin, these drugs are cyclophosphamide, topotecan, ifosfamide, and doxycycline. The woman should be monitored not only for the regression of the disease, but also for myelosuppression, vomiting, other toxicities like vomiting, diarrhea, nephrotoxicity, neurotoxicity, renal toxicity, and fungal infection. The drugs used are as follows: doxorubicin, atramycin 120 mg per meter square weekly for 6 cycles. It is also cardiotoxicity. So cardiac status should be monitored before giving the doxorubicin therapy. And cisplatin in a dose of 50 mg per meter square intravenously over 24 hours with good hydration. Here because the cisplatin is more nephrotoxic, so more good hydration is required. It is given at the interval of 3 weeks for 6 cycles, and usually there is 30% response. Another drug used is ifosfamide in a dose of 1.2 gram IV in 30 minutes. Methotrexate in a dose of 50 milligram per meter square bolus weekly for 6 weeks, or topotecan 1 to 2 milligram per meter square for day 1 to from day 1 to 5, given at interval of 3 weeks and with response rate of 20%. Then paclitaxel with 135 to 200 milligram per meter square over 24 hours in infusion, followed by 6-platin 75 per meter square, 75 milligram per meter square over 1 hour, 3 weeks. 6-platin causes nausea, renal failure, peripheral neuropathy, myelosuppression, but no alopecia, less alopecia rather. And BP, bleomycin, etoposide, and 6-platin combination, BP. So bleomycin in a dose of 15 milligram intravenously weekly for 12 cycles, etoposide 100 milligram meter square from day 1 to 5, 3 weekly, then 6-platin 20 milligram per meter square at the interval of 3 weeks, or carboplatin 300 to 400 milligram per meter square 4 weekly. Here the response rate is 30%. Then another combination is VAC, vincristine, actinomycin D, and cyclophosphamide combination. So V for vincristine or oncovin in a dose of 1.5 milligram per meter square IV on day 1. Then actinomycin D 0.5 milligram IV 1 to 5 days. Then cyclophosphamide 150 milligram per meter square IV for 5 days 4 weekly. It is more effective in case of germ cell tumors of the ovary. So another combination is PVP, 6-platin, P for 6-platin, V for vinblastine, B for bleomycin. So 6-platin with a dose of 100 milligram per meter square IV on day 1. Already I think we have discussed in case of ovarian tumor. Again, to repeat this combination, 6-platin and with vinblastine in a dose of 6 to 12 milligram per meter square bolus IV on day 1, and bleomycin in a dose of 15 to 30 milligram IV on day 1, 8 and 15, and maximum of 8 doses 3 weekly. Then cyclophosphamide in a dose of 500 milligram per meter square, doxorubicin 50 milligram per meter square bolus IV, and 6-platin 50 milligram per meter square infused over 30 minutes 3 weekly for 6 cycles. Taxol derived from the bark of Pacific A tree is in short supply, so it is expensive and available in semi-synthetic form. It promotes assembly and stability of microtubules and inhibits mitosis. A quantity of 175 to 50 milligram per meter square IV infusion over 3 hours is useful in 6-platin resistant cases. Then side effects are neutropenia, paresthesia, scotoma, myalgia, bradycardia, alopecia, vomiting, and diarrhea. Alpha interferon given 3 times a week subcutaneously, it also maintains emission period and improves the immunity power, so also it improves the survival. Gemcitabine 100 milligram per meter square and carboplatin first and 8th day 3 weekly for 6 cycles. Then another side effect is extravasation of the drug. So extravasation should be avoided by using angiocatheter when giving doxorubicin, actinomycin D, and vincristine. Especially when these drugs are given, proper care should be taken, and it is better to use angiocatheters. Then topotecan is another new drug which inhibits nuclear enzyme DNA topoisomerase and is well tolerated. Germ cell tumor of ovary respond to bleomycin, etoposide about 85% of cases. Then sarcoma, cisplatin, ifosfamide, doxorubicin in a dose of 60 mg per meter square as single agent therapy can be used. Then for breast cancer, although tamoxifen usually used for treatment of breast cancer. So although tamoxifen improves the survival period, it causes endometrial hyperplasia as it is anti-estrogen. Being as anti-estrogen, there is chance of development of hyperplasia of the endometrium and leading to endometrial cancer. So it requires a regular monitoring with ultrasound study of endometrium, that is the thickness. It should be monitored properly and the dose should be modified. And if there is increased endometrial thickness, so endometrial biopsy should be done and then proper treatment can be given. So gynecologists should be aware of the limitations of chemotherapy as well as its effectiveness. And tumor markers should be employed during chemotherapy to watch the effectiveness and decide the duration of chemotherapy in an individual case. So taxane, apart from being anti-mitotic, it is also a radiosensitizer. It causes neutropenia, paresthesia, myalgia, and cardiac arrhythmia and alopecia. The dose is 135 mg per meter square on 24-hour infusion, followed by 75 mg of cisplatin. Cisplatin sensitivity is the key predictor of response and survival. Cisplatin or carboplatin with paclitaxel is the first line of chemotherapy in the treatment of advanced cancer. So in ovarian cancer, chemotherapy is used more commonly as neoadjuvant therapy, concomitant therapy, and adjuvant therapy. So as neoadjuvant therapy means before surgery or radiotherapy, the drug is used and the drug shrinks the tumor, reduces micrometastasis. The disadvantage of neoadjuvant therapy is it delays the specific therapy or treatment. And drugs used are cisplatin or carboplatin or bleomycin or ifosfamide with 50 to 70% response. Then as concomitant therapy, during treatment it is given. It acts as radiosensitizer because it is given for few cycles as radiosensitizer and enhances the radiotherapy effect but increases the toxicity. So as adjuvant therapy, adjuvant therapy is employed following surgery or radiotherapy, but response to local, residual or recurrence is low. Following surgery or radiotherapy, the chemotherapy is used as adjuvant therapy. Here the residual or recurrence is low because of poor vascularity of the tumor. Then the distal metastasis, however, responds better to adjuvant chemotherapy because of its intact vascularity. The vascularity is intact in case of distal metastasis, whereas the vascularity is hampered in case of if it is after surgery or radiotherapy. So distal metastasis responds better. With so many new drugs becoming available, tissue sensitivity tests to various drugs may improve the decision regarding the best line of chemotherapy in the future. So there are many side effects of chemotherapy, almost all systems of body are involved, like alopecia, pulmonary fibrosis, cardiotoxicity, local reaction, renal failure, myelosuppression. There may be phlebitis and mucositis and nausea and vomiting, which is commonest side effect of the chemotherapy drugs, diarrhea and cystitis, sterility or infertility, and myalgia and neuropathy. So nausea and vomiting is the frequent side effect. So it may be acute and delayed. So it is not well controlled with conventional antiemetics. Major source of discomfort and lack of compliance or even discontinuation due to nausea and vomiting, she may discontinue the drug. And frequency and extent is highly variable among the patients and is directly proportional to the dose of alkylating drugs. So these are the drugs used as antiemetic drug, like 5-HT3, 5-hydroxytryptamine 3 inhibitor or serotonin receptor antagonist, that is ondansetron in a dose of 24 milligram orally or 8 milligram intravenously. It is given before therapy. Or granisetron, the dose of with the dose of 2 milligram orally or 1 milligram IV given before chemotherapy. At last, dexamethasone is given if uncontrolled vomiting, then in a dose of 12 milligram orally or 8 milligram orally before chemotherapy daily on days 2 to 4. Then there may be bone marrow toxicity, hematologic toxicity. So it can involve all the blood elements, leukocytes, platelets, and RBCs. And extent and time course of suppression shows marked inter-individual fluctuations. Cyclophosphamide, especially, it is relative platelet sparing even at very high doses, and cumulative damage rarely seen when cyclophosphamide is given as single agent, and repeated high doses can be given without progressive lowering of leukocytes or platelets. Then when there is, to minimize the hematologic toxicity like myelosuppression, granulocytopenia, and other blood products are diminished, then granulocyte macrophage colony stimulating factors, these are the cytokines, are used, which stimulates hematopoiesis and activates granulocytes and macrophages, or granulocyte colony stimulating factor GCSF, that also used for effectiveness of the other chemotherapy drugs. So it activates granulocytes or erythropoietin. It stimulates erythroid growth and development. These are the cytokines family, and these are used along with the chemotherapy drugs for better effectiveness. Then bladder and renal toxicity, there may be hemorrhagic cystitis. It is unique to cyclophosphamide and or ifosfamide, and it may range from mild cystitis to severe bladder damage with massive hemorrhage due to the excretion of toxic metabolites, acrolein, in urine and subsequent irritation of the bladder mucosa. Hemorrhagic cystitis occurs. So adequate hydration and continuous irrigation of the bladder with mesna and frequent bladder emptying can reduce the incidence and severity. Renal toxicity, nitrosurase at high cumulative doses also. Then interstitial pneumonitis and pulmonary toxicity, busulfan therapy when there is long-term busulfan therapy, or cyclophosphamide in cumulative doses exceeding 1000 milligram per meter square may lead to pneumonitis with symptoms. Then other agents like melphalan, chlorambucil, and mitomycin C can lead to pulmonary fibrosis after therapy. Direct cytotoxicity to the pulmonary epithelium resulting in alveolitis and fibrosis. Then there may be gonadal toxicity, teratogenesis, and carcinogenesis. So it has have profound effect on reproductive tissues. In women, high incidence of amenorrhea and ovarian atrophy associated with cyclophosphamide or melphalan therapy. Then it is age-related and it develops after low doses in older compared to younger patients and less likely to be reversible in the older cohort. And on pathological analysis, there is absence of mature and primordial follicles. There may also endocrinological toxicity when there is decreased estrogen and progesterone level and increased FSH and LS level. So all are teratogenic and carcinogenic due to the DNA damaging property. So it is contraindicated in case of first trimester pregnancy. So because there is definite risk of malformation in the fetus. In the second and third trimester, second means usually after 16 weeks of pregnancy or third trimester administration, it is safe. Then gonadal toxicity. Continue. The development of second malignancy as a consequence of alkylating therapy. Fulminant acute myeloid leukemia may occur or it may be found in patients treated with melphalan, cyclophosphamide, chlorambucil, and nitrosoureas. The rate of acute leukemia in patients with ovarian cancer treated with the alkylating agents who survive 10 years might be as high as 10%. Acute leukemia, the most frequent malignancy, may develop 1 to 4 years after exposure to the drug. Then there may be alopecia after cyclophosphamide administration. It's quite severe, especially when it used in combination with vincristine or doxorubicin. Regrowth of hair occurs after the cessation of the therapy, but may have changes in color and greater curve. So there may be allergy reactions and there may be immunosuppressions. Cyclophosphamide, the most immunosuppressive drug, and sustained drug treatments can lead to profound immunosuppression and increases fungal, viral, and protozoal infections. Selective suppression of beta lymphocytes function, depletion of beta lymphocytes, and suppression of functions mediated by T lymphocytes such as GPHR and delayed hypersensitivity. So these are the chemotherapy drugs and risk of tissue injury following extravasation. In case of vesicants, there may be skin ulceration, tissue necrosis, and sloughing by doxorubicin, optomycin, actinomycin D, and paclitaxel. Exfoliants like 6-platin, topotecan, and docetaxel may cause skin exfoliation. Irritants like carboplatin and etoposide may cause skin irritation. Then inflammants like methotrexate may cause inflammation of the skin. Then neutral drugs like bleomycin, cyclophosphamide, gemcitabine, and ifosfamide may cause hyperpigmentation of the skin or necrosis or ulceration. Then according to response, it may be complete response when there is disappearance of the all target regions, or it may be partial response when there is 30% decrease in the sum of greatest diameters of the target lesions. But when there is progressive disease, it indicates 20% increase in the sum of greatest diameter of the target response. So when there is small changes that do not meet the above criteria, neither disappearance of all target lesions or nor 30% decrease nor 20% increase, then it is a stable disease. So the keys are chemotherapy plays an important role in the management of many gynecological malignancies. Girish, with so many new drugs available, tissue sensitivity tests to various drugs may improve decision regarding the best line of chemotherapy. Thank you. So if you have any doubt or questions, you can ask. We have completed the chemotherapy in gynecological malignancy. So it should be carefully used, though all are having side effects. Thank you again.